All right, well, it seems we're live. Just give me a moment, guys. Hello, Sarah. Well, you're pretty fast. Just give me connecting. Just give me a moment, guys, to share the link into my Facebook page, and we're gonna get into the tarot readings for the all 12 star signs. And also there are going to be breaks here and there, you know. After 4 star signs I usually make a break. Now for those who are new, these live streams, they were beforehand, before this before today, they were performed on Facebook, but I decided to do it in YouTube this time around, just to see how it's gonna move forward. So bear with me a second. All right. Okay. Yeah. Right. So yeah, it seems that I'm ready. I'm ready, Carla. So I'm going to use this tarot deck here. The this is the radiant version, by the way, of the Reader Waite tarot deck. And as many of you know, that I have complained recently, this deck is manufactured, or the copyrights are held only by the US gaming company. And unfortunately, all tarot cards which are produced here in Europe are produced in Switzerland from another company. I don't know its name really, but that company doesn't hold the copyrights. So it was really a pain to get my hands into brand new decks. This one is 8 years old, by the way, so the cards now are very sticky to one another. As you all know, I am using it every single time when I do forecasts. So yeah, pretty much that's that. And one more thing I want to warn you guys is that in every after 4 star signs that we go, so after Cancer and after Scorpio, I'm gonna have a 5 minutes break where I'm gonna have a swings of coffee, a little bit. I'm gonna vape a tobacco stick, and we get to chat. It's really funny. I mean, you can ask me any kind of personal questions which are not relating to me drawing tarot cards for you. All right, if you want me to read for you, then that is a subject of a private reading, and for such, you know, you can check out my website, which is listed pretty much here in the description of this video, and there you're gonna find a full list of my services and as well their pricings. Well, somewhat Korean Eclipse. Where are you from, Radko? Well, I'm from Bulgaria and I live in Bulgaria. I vape too. I don't think that vape, it's how it's written. I mean, my this is why I wrote it vape. I don't know. I mean, maybe I misspell it. I'm going to correct that after the live stream is done. So if I'm a bit winded, guys, that is because I really had a bad headache last couple of days and I couldn't perform in the weekly readings, and this is one way I can compensate to you by doing this this live. So the first star sign that we're going to go to, that is to be as per usual, Aries. And let me draw. And we are going to do 3 cards tarot spread. So this is going to be Elemental Dignities tarot spread. Let me tell you how it works. So the first card that I drew, it is the main card. This is like the pinnacle. This is like the fulcrum. And then we do have 2 cards, one from each side, which are called catalysts. They are the well, they are the catalysts, they are the circumstances, you know. And when you use the elemental dignities technique, you can define, you know, how you can basically overcome if it is a issue that comes around, or how you can make the most out of something positive that comes out. All right, so for Aries, we have the Page of Pentacles. The card to the left is going to be the Eight of Wands. I'm going to put it like this. All right, and the card to the right is going to be the King of Pentacles. So these three cards, all right, we have the Page, then it is the King right side, and we have the Eight of Wands left side. Okay, so the first thing that we can see here is this combo. That is a passive neutrals that we do have. So in general, you Aries, throughout these couple of weeks, which by the way, the process of the new moon into a Cancer starts tomorrow, which is 2nd of July, and it's all the way up until 16th of July. All right, so from now up to 16th of July, these cards are pointing for you Aries. This is that you are going to have to do something with a person who is very slow. All right, it is slow to a point where they're not pretty much aware of how much potential does they have, and that is due to the fact that they are, how do you say, when someone is way too cautious, all right, with someone, when someone wants to have, let's say, 100% insurance that something is to happen. So what I'm trying to say here is that, let's say that could be a suitor of yours, all right, even if you kind of like try to show them something, even if they understand what you are showing them, like that you are into them, it is unlikely that they're going to make a move forward. I mean, and that is due to the fact that still there will be some sort of a shred and resemblance of doubt. And pretty much, well, basically for you Aries, is if you want something from that person here, Page of Pentacles, throughout these couple of weeks, you simply need to say about it. I mean, with hints and presumptions, it ain't gonna work out at all. However, Page of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles is rather very good combo, and it points that should you invest into that guy or a girl, it doesn't really matter. It could be as well your child, all right, where you point to your child that it needs to kind of like devote more into, let's say, chemistry, but they don't. They just want to devote more into sports, let's say. So should you feed up the devotion of this Page of Pentacles, should you feed up the devotion, like I said, it seems that it's going to be a pretty good investment. All right, so it's going to go a long run. Should you try to cooperate with this page. No more Cancer, please. What do you mean, hyper? Cancer is the fourth star sign, and of course we are going to read for it. Well, thank you, Lydia. Thank you. I don't recall I had a reading with you, by the way. I could. I mean, I have a reading with many people, and you know, I don't remember anybody, but not a recent one at least. All right, so next one, that is going to be a Taurus. So let's see what Taurus, the most important thing for Taurus throughout this couple of weeks. So we do have the King of Pentacles for them, followed by the Six of Wands. And then we do have the Queen of Wands. Oh man, that looks like a... So these three guys, once again, all right? King of Wands, King of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and Queen of Wands here, all right? So that really looks like very ungrateful person to a point, well, like an ungrateful boss, okay? So no matter how well you perform, your boss always kind of points you on an example, a colleague of yours, okay? And it's kind of tedious at that point. So King of Pentacles here, unfortunately for you, Taurus, excuse me, it doesn't look like that you are to receive much an appreciation for your toils. For that reason, guys, it will be quite advisable throughout these couple of weeks to just take it easy, all right? Don't push yourself. After all, excuse me, you are at work, you're not on a competition. Just do what you can without, you know, exceeding how can I put it, without exceeding your limitations, okay, for what you set for yourself into your career. Because no matter how well you perform once again, it doesn't look like that you're going to satisfy that guy or a girl, which is your boss, okay? And that is not because you haven't performed well, but because they always want more. It's just what their nature is. That could be as well your supervisor, or it could be also a partner into a relationship. So what you need to do here is just, you know, go through these couple of weeks as painless as possible, from a sense of that you conserve your strength and you don't waste efforts for people and for situations, for that matter, which basically does not deserve it. All right, it's like you woke up every morning, let's say, and an hour earlier than your wife, all right? You make the breakfast, you clean the house, and it's just your wife takes it for granted. Is never grateful, and even complains what kind of a breakfast you made. It's such kind of a situation we're talking about. Of course, that is just the appreciation here is just going to be delayed, because we don't have a passive enemies, but we do have passive neutrals. And appreciation that will be based on your toils and on your performance will probably going to come around after the new moon in Cancer, excuse me, period of time is over, which is 16th of July. Oh, thank you, Lydia. Thank you. Well, although I live in Bulgaria, to be honest, I speak more English throughout my day than Bulgarian. And you know, one of the perks is that well, not one of the perks, but I worked for English company for 3 years, and one of the perks of the trade was for me to learn English even more fluent. And to be honest, World of Warcraft did a great job into that as well. I mean, that is a video game, a massive multiplayer video game. Also, your 2nd of July, yeah, but the full moon happens, the new moon, excuse me, it happens in an exact time, all right? And in the website that I'm looking at it, it is like it calculates it for from the eastern hemisphere, which means that it calculates it for America. So that being said, maybe it's going to be 3rd of July for you when the new moon happens. Hyper, no, I don't read for Bulgarian clients. For the reason being is that in my country, this creed or this profession, it's polluted. Basically, what people believes here is that you need to have some sort of a gift from the god to read tarot. And this is something that I'm going to divulge, and I know that many people are not going to be agree about it, but tarot has nothing to do with the intuition, and to prove it, I dare you, all of you, to check what arcana means. Just check what arcana means. I think it's a Latin word. Well, I will say it, okay? Arcana means knowledge. So you do have major and minor knowledge into tarot card, you know, major and minor arcana. You don't have minor intuition or a major intuition. You don't have major insight or a minor insight. You don't have a minor vision or a major vision. You do have major and minor knowledge, or a wisdom as well. It could be translated into wisdom as well. All right, so next one is going to be my point here was that you know, you don't have to be a psychic to read tarot cards as successful as you can, you know. That is my point. Thank you, Daniel. Well, Sarah, this, I don't know. I mean, 3 is the number of sociality. What I mean is when you do have 3, but you know, you gotta find someone who needs to check your numerological chart, because turning 30 doesn't mean a lot. You know, when I turned 30, I felt that like the world is brought down into my knees. I mean, I never felt better, and I'm still feeling that good. Okay, so Gemini is going to be the next one, and that will be the King of Wands is the first one, followed by the Sun card, which is the second, and then we do have, wow, look at that, guys. So we do have triple fiery energy here. We do have a active supporters everywhere into this reading. Is going to be an explosive couple of weeks for you, especially if you are waiting for some sort of a help. And it's not even like a help for what it seems here. It looks like more as a savior, all right? So if you are into a very despondent and like a dead-end situation, now this person, King of Wands, comes around here and totally saves the day for you. I'm sorry. It is like the knight in a shining armor. Now, I'm not saying that this could be a, how can I describe it? You know, a romantic interest here. The point with the King of Wands is that they have that ability, let's say, to transform ideas into a powerful action. So if you need help, for example, to develop your private business, well, that help is going to come around into the next couple of weeks. You know, if you need help to overcome some sort of a depressive moment, well, that help as well is going to come around. If you need help to break through into your career in general, that help is going to come around with this person. Now, one thing I want to say here in case this regards to your romantic life, all right? So let's say that this is a suitor here, King of Wands. You got to be very careful how you approach that person because they do not tolerate insubordinates, right? So what I mean is that, how can I describe it? Well, not insubordinates, but let's say weak people. This is how I'm going to say it. So they cherish those who stick to their word and who have character. Now, it doesn't here you don't have to be agreed constantly with them, all right? You can exert your own personal preferences and your own personal character, but you should not bear on it as well. I mean, the fact here relies the fact that the king needs to see you as a strong and established mature person. Apart from that, with these three cards, this could be as well a big crush. Okay, so you are single for a quite long time, Geminis. Suddenly this person comes around and completely turns your world upside down, right? It's going to be very passionate, and it's going to be burning. I mean, burning in a sense of that, you know, there will be a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of temper, a lot of passion in it. Love, I cannot say yet, but still it could evolve into love further down the road should you be able to do whatever it's necessary to sustain the passion. And in order to do so, only thing you got to do, guys, is just be yourself. That's the best thing here. That's the good stuff with the King of Wands. You need to be yourself, nothing else, nothing more. But there is no mistake. The king pretty much offers you an expanding energies of growth, and whatever situation you're struggling with is going to transform it into a very natural drive, into a moving forward. All right, so that was about Gemini. Now we go to one second. Now we go to Cancer. Someone said no Cancer. Well, we go to Cancer now. Well, Levi, yeah, I am trying to keep my readings practical, you know, and somewhat trying to relate them to the real world, if I may express it that way. Because, you know, if I have, for example, Two of Cups for, let's say, Cancer right now, does this mean that every Cancer is going to fall in love? No, you know, I need to give variation. for what that means if you are, for example, having an important career situation or an important private situation, you know, or you are married or you are single and so on and so forth. This is the mastery of tarot, in my opinion, to be able to relate the card with any kind of situation, and not just when you draw the lovers, you say, oh, look, that is a big love coming in. It's, to me, this is just, you know, memorizing a keywords from a book and just going out and saying those keywords. It's nothing more than that. And if that's what it takes, then everybody can be a tarot reader for just, you know, 2 days of study. Right, so Cancer, we do have the Moon card, which is the prime one, followed by the 9 of Cups, and then we do have the 8 of Wands. So for you Cancers, things are going to slow down significantly throughout this couple of weeks. And the good thing is that you're not going to feel bad about it. As a matter of fact, it's going to be like a slow, things are going to slow down so you can capture the moment, if I may say it that way, and have more time to experience exhilarating endeavors, you know, or an enterprise, and to have that sensual joy from your situations. It's very advisable. These cards are rather more appearing as a guidance than a fortune telling, and what they represent here is that you need to focus on your current blessings and make the most out of them instead of trying to add upon those blessings. That is due to the fact that the 8 of Wands falls as a passive enemy to the Moon card, and should you try to ask for more, or like should you go for more instead of focusing on your current blessings, you risk to kind of like deviate from a very important path that you are currently walking on and delay a significant improvement, or should I say progress more as a life, or like as a you know, growth in life. Oh, hello Granny, how are you doing? Hello Vandora. Now I'm gonna have a break, guys, here in front of camera, and you get to ask me, or we get to talk about anything you want, all right, aside from me giving a free readings. So yeah, if you do have any questions about my, for example, personal life, or what I like to do and these kind of stuff, hello Susan, how are you doing? Yeah, if you do have any questions, you want to know me better and these kind of stuff, you know, you get to ask them now while I have my my stick vaping or vaping. And after I'm done, we are gonna go to the next 4 star signs, which are to be Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. You're welcome, Daniel. Hyper, unfortunately, no, I do not go to gym. I do train in my house. You know, I'm more like a natural body exercising, like a push-ups, push-pulls, you know, abdominal crunches and these kind of stuff. I don't like the free weights. And unfortunately, I haven't trained since like 8 months. But I am determined to start again. It's just I am way too lazy, you know. But I'm gonna catch up pretty quickly, because I never took any supplements, and when you don't take supplements, you know, you catch up with your peak, you know, form very quickly. Oh, hello, Ariane. So you want to know how I get into tarot and what are my hobbies? Well, the truth is that I was always fascinated with the unknown, all right? And I think it was 2001 when this version of the Exorcist movie came out, right? So I went to cinema, I watched the movie, and there was that lady which did to herself a tarot reading, and I said, my God, so that's my thing. It's immediately attracted me. So this is how I get into tarot. That is the short version, and my hobbies are to read books and to play video games. I love playing video games, right? Daniel, this is a method which is called elemental dignities. You know, you can write it into YouTube. I'm pretty sure that there is a people explaining it. Well, to a certain extent, the finest, I mean the how can I place it? These small details which are making the method work, they are not explaining, but this is the method, elemental dignities. How long have I been doing tarot? Well, professionally, 8 years now. Otherwise, since I was 14, you know, I was studying the cards. Oh, hello, Sylvia from Portugal. I bet it's very hot there. I mean, in the news, they are saying that it's something like a 45 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius. It's kind of like a hell in in that side of Europe. Hello, Pauline, New Orleans. Oh, nice. How long did it take you to master it? I don't consider myself that I have mastered it. I'm still learning, you know. The thing is that every morning when I wake up, you know, the first thing I do is shuffle my cards and I address them with the question, tell me something about someone that I don't know and I will never going to meet, and I lay down a spread. Then I go take my showers, brush my teeth, you know, have my coffee, and I'm constantly moving through the spread, you know, and throughout the day, I'm just seeing the cards in a different perspective. I'm coming up with different, you know, kind of like connections. It just makes me studying. This is the way how you study the cards, at least according to me. That's my opinion. Uh, Kelly Lee, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. My star sign is Scorpio. As a matter of fact, I think I do have a double stellium in it. Saturn, so Venus, Saturn, I don't know, Venus, Saturn, and two more planets are in there, and then I have the rest of the planets into Sagittarius, Moon, and you name it. Yeah, elemental dignities, Daniel. Hello, Tina. Hello from Bulgaria. Do I sage my cards if I am in hurry? Crystal, if I am in hurry. Otherwise, I am cleansing my cards via a very ancient Wicca method. So what you do is you pick up a solar eclipse full moon, right? And in before the full moon, you basically take a box, fill it with salt. It has to be a sea salt though. Uh, then you put your cards into in a bag and bury them in the salt, and then you place the box open on the moonlight. This is the way how you cleanse your cards, but only if I'm in a hurry. I'm using sage. Why do I shave? To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I don't shave to the skin, you know. I'm always keeping a bit of a beard, and there is a reason for that. My skin, I think, is very sensitive, and if I shave to skin, it makes boils. All right, the skin makes boils, and it's really painful, and it's ugly, and it's not working. But I don't know why I shave. Why I shave. It's just in the summer, especially it here around my mouth. You can start when you sweat, because you can't avoid sweating in summer, you know, and everything becomes very sticky, and it's really disgusting. So in the summer, I prefer to shave. Otherwise, in the winter, I don't really care. Thank you, Granny. Actually, with beard, I think that I am more attractive, or at least this is what women tells me. Okay, with if I do have a little bit more longer beard, more representative, or rather like standing out kind of beard, um, I'm a bit more attractive. Thank you, guys. All right, so next one is going to be Leo, and let's see what we do have for Leo. Three of Cups, it's the first one, followed by the Knight of Cups here. And then the next one is going to be the Emperor. So for you guys, these two cards are a passive enemies, and these two are passive supporters. So what we do have is that well, I don't want to say that you're going to have a choice throughout the month, but there are going to be some responsibilities that you need to fulfill, okay? And these responsibilities are going to be a bit tedious to you, because this is going to be the last thing you want to do, but yet you literally, have to need to make the job done. And aside from that, you're going to have a faithful companion, which is going to take the tediousness away. So for example, if you do have a lot of responsibilities into your career, into your job, and it's very difficult, every day it's kind of like it's a boredom. No, it's a burden, but it's a burden. Every day it's a burden. After the day is off, you're gonna have that person which is gonna take all that pressure away. Even on top of that, the Tree of Cups and the Knights of Cups also could incorporate emotional attachment, but like I said, I cannot say it for everybody. It's just this person is going to be very loyal and very faithful, and they believe that, how can I place it, that the good relationship in between each other, in between you and them, is founded on a mutual, not interest, but mutual efforts. So, in other words, that person doesn't take you for granted. I do not exclude the fact that this person, could like you or could love you as well. It's just you don't know it yet. And if that's the case, in these 2 weeks, they're going to share this with you, because the Tree of Cups, it does represent as well expanding one vision upon a mutual cooperation, should I say it that way. So even if they don't divulge it, all right, you are going to be pretty sure what their intentions are. So that being said, Leo, if you do have someone who always seeks your attention, if you do have someone that always calls you every day, or it's kind of like texting you and so on and so forth, you pretty much are going to be aware throughout these couple of weeks what kind of intentions they have, how much they're into you, and how far as well they're willing to go by with all this. Hello, guys. Hello, Squid. Thank you, Vadora. Well, to be honest, I am pretty... well, I will share that secret with you guys. I do not have an eye for the aesthetics. Meaning, when I have a haircut or when I shave my beard, I cannot determine am I more attractive or not. It's just I don't have the eyes for that, and it's a pretty big curse if you ask me. Hello there, whoever you are. I mean, it's just I don't recognize those cryptography, excuse me. Right, so Virgo, Three of Swords is the first one, followed by the Knight of Pentacles, and then the third one is going to be the Queen of Swords. So guys, you are well, I would say it that way, someone that you have placed a great hopes at. This one is going to prove traitor, right? It's going to prove someone which works not exactly against you, but works for themselves, while they pretend it works for your own good, or that they are faithful, or that they are, how can I describe it, all right? That they are ready to do whatever it takes to make you happy. And this secret is going to be divulged to you by this Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is a person who is usually, you know, just an observer. It's observer sides. It kind of assesses the situation and it decides should she do something about it, or should she do not do anything about it. But in this case, it's gonna be just way too painful for her to watch, you know, how you have been either lied or withdrawn, or an information have been withdrawn from you, you know, or it's just, you know, you're gonna be slipped down on a precipitous slope, and etc, etc. And so that Queen of Swords, which doesn't necessarily have to be a woman, all right, it could be as well a man, is going to just step in and is going to expose this liar and a deceitful person for you. And you're going to be disappointed. I don't want to lie to you. And probably you're going to feel as well humiliated because you have invested a lot in it. But at the end of the day, as soon as you liberate yourself from this slinky person, or rather like sneaky person with nefarious intentions, most likely as well, you're gonna feel great relief. Well, I don't know, Anna. It may be about the same person, it's just you're gonna learn even more about it, you know? You're gonna be even more, how can I place it, devastated for even bigger betrayal caused by the same person. Right, so next one is going to be Libra. The first card is going to be the Two of Swords, followed by the Eight of Pentacles. And then we do have the Four of Pentacles. So we do, the two combo here, guys, are active enemies that we do have. And this lunar cycle is going to be difficult for you because everybody is going to urge you to take a side. For example, to take a side in between your let's say wife or a husband and your parents, in between two co-workers, you know, or in between two standpoints. Basically to take a side in between two fighting forces, while the war that they are leading is not your war, all right? And the problem for you is going to be here, Libra, to take a side, basically. And nor it is advisable for you to take a side. Now, before you decide, guys, which one you're going to side with, it's best for you to consider all points of view. Now, the fact that we do have these two cards, you do not, these couple of cards are a clear sign here in a conjunction that you don't know the whole truth. There are very important details, minor details, which are eluding you. You don't have the information about it, and that's why you never can be sure which one is right and which one is wrong. And that's why, Libras, in the next couple of weeks, guys, up until 16th of July. It will be best if you don't take any major decisions and if you don't side with anybody. It is just try to postpone everything as much as you can, because otherwise you are in a grave danger to basically make a wrong decision, because sometimes making no decision, it's the best decision that you can make. Right, so hello Mystical. Right, so next one is going to be Scorpio. So let's see what we Scorpios are going to have to deal with in this cycle. So the first one is going to be the Five of Pentacles, followed by the Emperor card, and then we do have the Ace of Wands. All right, so Scorpio, the both combos here are a passive neutrals, all right? And basically the situation is not, what these cards are pointing is that the situation is not as bad as you think it is. To be honest, if you compare the reality of the situation that you're finding yourself at with what you are making it to be, it is basically you are making it to be doom and gloom, while in the same time, it does require only consistency and an involvement for you to resolve whatever issue you do have, either into your marriage, private life, or as well into your career. Consistency is because the Emperor stands here, and while you are commiserating upon, you know, how good it could have been, you know, or how better one could have performed back in the days, you or we Scorpio are missing the chance actually to present ourselves reliable, capable, and as well consistent enough to establish either private businesses, to establish relationships as well. Well, basically here, guys, we should accept that what is done, it's done, all right? The past cannot be repaired. And now it's time for us to glance upon the future. And there is a pretty big gaining for enterprise waiting for us around the corner. Only if we, that is, abandon the standpoint of lethargy, right? I don't know if I'm pronouncing this word correctly. It is when you don't have an urge to do anything. Now, should you experience problems on multiple fronts, then, like I said, everything that it takes for you to resolve those problems is consistency. To just stand up, you know, and start doing something about it. And before you know it, you are going to see how they are to start resolving each other, or rather like resolving themselves one by one before you know it. Right, so that was about Scorpio, and now we're gonna have the second break here, and we get to chat once again. And yeah, if you want to ask me something else, go on. I'm all yours. Hello, Sonia. How are you doing? Accursed, accurate. Oh, all right. Well, yeah, there is a big difference, for example, because right now I'm studying numerology as well. When I have the chance to do so, there are also two, how can I say it, you know, two versions of numerology. There is the Pythagorean numerology and there is a Chaldean numerology as well. So if we have to compare them with the astrology creeds, Pythagorean numerology is going to be like the Western astrology, and Chaldean numerology is going to be like the Vedic astrology. And they differentiate in the determination of the names. So because, you know, a numerological information carries your date of birth, but as well your name carries as well a numerological information. And with the Chaldean numerology, the name is calculated in a different way. No, Vadora, I haven't. I'm going to do it once I'm done with the break here. Well, I look as well as I can be, you know, I mean, it's just an unusual day. To be honest, guys, you're going to be surprised how inactive my days are. I mean, I'm just doing my videos, taking on the readings that people are ordering, and that's that. I barely go out these days, which is kind of sad. Do I? Oh, that is because I'm talking with you. Otherwise, before I started the stream, I was like, but I had to, you know, I mean, because I am not gonna give you this week a weekly readings, guys, and kind of like I'm feeling, I do feel that I do have some sort of an obligation toward you and toward the channel to produce any kind of content. Only in a private readings and if the client requests, and of course I'm obliged to tell them what the consequences of a Lenormand card reading could be. The thing that I don't use Lenormand cards into these live readings is because you can't control the Lenormand cards. It's because tarot you can control with questions, and when I do general readings, I always refer them with a certain question, all right? While with Lenormand, you can't refer them with a question. They just shows you what they want to show you, and that's it. And sometimes the prediction could be quite grim. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I saw a couple of times I saw death in the cards, which actually happened. I was quite surprised. Well, that depends, Hyper. I'm trying to do from 5 up to 10. I don't know. I mean, it does depend how I feel. Well, Madame Squid, it's a difficult method. It takes time to kind of like get the hang of it. I don't want to say master it, but to get the hang of it, the elemental dignities. And it's a good method because it does exclude reversals. You don't need to read with reversals, all right? They're just contradicting each other. And I personally prefer it rather than reading with reversals. Oh, the decks are already flying, Karen, but thank you. I already find one who did that for me. Yellow, no private readings into the live streams, mate. I'm sorry. Favorite wall racing class? Well, I don't play it right now, but when back in the days, I was playing an undead warlock, and I was owning in the battlegrounds. It was just, oh my god, that race is disgusting. It was disgustingly overpowered. What is my favorite sign related to my personality? I don't know, to be honest. I have a lot of friends which are a Libra, all right? So I'm getting quite well with Libra. But the majority of my girlfriends, when I had girlfriends, you know, was Cancer, and it never worked out. Okay, so it's I don't know why Cancer is it's attracting me. It's not like attracting me. It's just, you know, it's just happened that way. How do I get into it? It was different, right? It was just different, and it was written in one old book that I have read, It's yeah, it's basically from there. I have learned tarot from old books. I haven't read any new kind of like a published book. That is, the books that I read, that I learned tarot from, are like 80 years, 100 years old. Do not forget, one tomorrow, two. What do you mean? You have a reading with me? Probably, but you're not hyper. One second. Two. Well, I have pretty much all my readings scheduled, so I'm not going to forget. Don't worry. My sign, Sonia, it's Scorpio. Okay, Sally. But just to recommend you go for the live readings. They just produce better results than the recorded readings. I can assure you that. My rising, the Greek lady, Anna, and I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So I think that these are Greek letters, or at least they look like that way. My rising is a Aquarius, and my sun is Scorpio. Well, the thing, guys, when it comes to relationships, is that I cannot be tamed. What I mean is that I do whatever I like, when I like to do it. And I'm not emotional. That is another thing, right? I don't respond to drama very well. It's just I ignore drama. All right, so next one, Sagittarius. Let's see what the Sagittarius got. We do have the Moon card. It is the first one, followed by the Knight of Wands here as a second. Then we do have the Five of Cups. So this month, it seems, Sagittarius, that you're gonna have it's not like a second chance, but it's gonna be more like a stubbornness, right? So what the cards here points is that recently, or at the very start of this cycle, a thing that you're trying to develop is not gonna work out, or is just partially ain't gonna work out, right? But this is not going to discourage you, although you're going to have that person which is going to urge you to basically drop it off, right? So just to give you an example of it, let's say that you are trying to be with someone and that person just becomes unavailable suddenly, okay? And instead of you bailing out of it, or rather like abandoning the whole endeavor at all, stubbornly you recognize that their unavailability, and that unavailability is not going to be related to another person, all right? They could become unavailable because they are going to travel somewhere, or because they're depressed and these kind of stuff, all right? But this unavailability, it is going to, or rather like this setback is going to determine you even more to push the thing through. Also, you're going to have like a friend of yours, it could be as well a sibling, or a companion of yours, which is going to urge you to basically step aside and just focus on something new that's this time around, according to this person, that is, can be exerted, can be developed to its full extent. The thing is that whatever you have started recently, Sagittarius, whatever you're trying to develop, it is yours to develop. What I mean is that this is a calling of yours, according to these cards, and this setback should not be a prerequisite for you to basically abandon the situation. Is my Aquarius making me less emotional? Well, to be honest, I'm quite grateful that I'm less emotional. It's just sometimes I feel that like there is nothing that can bring me down emotionally, which is a good thing. Madam's quite. I know many people were telling me that, you know, but it does involve a lot of how can I place it? You know, a lot of effort at my end. And if I determine myself to do a course, I have to stop making, you know, these monthlies and video readings and so on and so forth, guys. Because, you know, I'm just one guy, and it's exhausting. If you think that it is a piece of cake, it's quite exhausting. Right, so Capricorn is the next one. We do have the Tower card here, followed by the Four of Cups. Oh my God, so you, just from these couple of cards, guys, you're gonna get enough, you're gonna have enough of it. These couple of weeks are gonna be just the piece of the cake. It's like, you know, someone do something to you, or someone doesn't do what you expected. You call them and you say, you know what, this time you just take the cake. You know what? And you're going to take the matter and the endeavor into your own hands, and you're going to shape it according to your to your image, because these two, they are active enemies. And you're going to say, you know, that's it, I don't care, you know, I just don't give a shit. I'm going to do whatever I have to do, whatever I feel that I have to do, and let I be hanged for it, you know, figuratively spoken. So you will completely going to ignore what kind of a circumstances that thing could bring, or what kind of a consequences, which consequences, by the way, ultimately at the end are going to have a nurturing and cleansing effect upon you, because you are going to undergo a severe transformation. I mean, this threshold that you're going to traverse throughout this couple of weeks, being fed up and not wanting to wait any longer, or not giving, how can I, not giving any shred of, how do you say it? Shred of sympathy, should I say, toward the situation, and finally determine yourself to get to the bottom of it and have either your answer, you know, or have your conclusion, or just have your transition, if you want to say it that way, is going to be the very start of your transformation, which at the end is going to end up in you having much more structured life. The accompanied card here, the next one, is going to be the Two of Pentacles, and that formation in between these two, it is a active neutrals. So these couple of cards, the Tower and the Two of Pentacles, points to a little bit of a stubbornness, or rather like a momentum. Once you start going down and burning bridges, you know, and doing things, it seems that nothing can stop you. I mean, when you start taking on this inertia down the road with your actions, and as well with your decision making, and in generally with determination to have your conclusion and to have your answers, nothing will be able to stop you, nor nothing can throw you off the road or turn your mind around. So just to give you an example of it, you know, so let's say that you are kind of like interacting with this beautiful woman or with this beautiful man, it doesn't matter, for let's say a couple of months or even couple of years, and you never have a definitive answer, are you going to be together or not? So you can finally have enough of it, and you confront the matter, and you just take this final irreversible decision, or these irrevocable actions, which are going to basically bring you to a conclusion. Well, it didn't mean sadness in this case, Vondora. It didn't meant any sadness. Just on the contrary, it meant the necessary drive for you to do what is necessary, even though it may be something unpleasant. All right, so Aquarius is, Aquarius, the Five of Wands is the first one, followed by the Page of Swords, and then we do have the Death card. So we do have a little bit of a rebellion here in between with these two cards and these two cards. So that is an active friends, and we do have an active enemies here. And it's like this time we're talking about stubbornness, right? This time we're talking about like a let's say a project isn't working out very well into your career, or it's almost up to a point of no return, going into ruins, and you just refuse failure. And that is a very good thing, guys, because the number 5, and especially with the 5 of Wands, this is the best card which traverses or transforms failure into success. So in these couple of weeks, you do have control over the inevitable course of events, or what was inevitable now can be traverse. So you can save your marriage, for example, if your marriage isn't going on very well. You can save your career, you can save your job, or simply you can establish a new path which you are to feel very much more happy, path that is to be created by your original thinking. What I mean is that if you have that crazy idea and no one really listened to it, with the Page of Swords this week and the Five of Wands this week, another crazy person is going to come around, which however have resources, you know, and it's going to appear like a unexpected help that will help you to develop this idea or this endeavor or whatever that is. But definitely in the grand scheme of things, yes, I have done Cancer read. I'm sorry. But you can rewatch the video after I'm done with the stream. You know, it's going to be here in YouTube. So the point here, Aquarius, is that throughout these couple of weeks, you can definitely alter your outcomes, especially when it comes to a, how do you say it, a situation of deterioration. There are going to be the environment is going to be very dynamic. Okay, there are going to be opportunities every day, every second, every minute that's for you to traverse that situation into the direction that you want. And this is a very rare occasion, and you have to make the most out of it. So don't be afraid to speak out loud what your ideas are and how you generally understand the world, and to do something about it as well, to take actions for it either. Right, so that was a Aquarius, and now finally we go to Pisces. Yeah, I'm gonna have one more tobacco stick with the coffee, guys, before we conclude the stream after Pisces is done, so we can kind of like finish our chatting. I really love chatting, to be honest. Chatting with you, my friends, it is what makes me kind of like passionate to do those live streams. It is the best thing in these live streams, because sitting here interpreting tarot cards is not exactly exciting, to be honest. In general, I mean, while when you do have something to relate them to, you know, like a personal situation, as we discuss in private readings, it's much more, they speak much more, because in general reading, it does require way too much effort to relate the cards with one another. Alright, so Pisces, 7 of Cups is the first one, followed by the 8 of Wands, which is the second. And then we do have the Hangman. Oh my God, so you're going to avoid a significant disappointment, which you have previously strayed towards. And now you kind of like come up to your senses and you realize, wait a minute, you know. So it's like you have a suitor, right? And this person, it tells you these sweet talks, and it's kind of like tries to convince you how much they love you, and how, for example, they're gonna leave their husband for you, or how they're gonna leave their wife for you, and you almost believe that. A new moon in Cancer happens, and you say, wait a minute, if you are saying that, why aren't you doing it? You know. So instead of kind of like allowing the situation, whatever the situation is, to take advantage of your emotional predisposition, all right, this time around you are going to see upon the situation more objectively. And while the words are given or are presented or served in a certain fashion, the actions are begging difference. Okay. And then you are going to basically place a break. It's not like breaking up, but more like putting the situation in stall, like on hold, until whatever promise have been given to you, you know, or whatever expectations have been promised to you are fulfilled. It's no different than, for example, someone asks you to do an enterprise with them or an endeavor, telling you one thing at the start, and then when you start doing the endeavor, performing in it, it suddenly turns out to be something different. So instead of just blindly investing into it, you, as soon as you see that your expectations are different from what is real, you're going to simply stop, and you are going to demand what you have been, or you should start demanding, you know, what have been promised to you. So from another standpoint, these cards are urging you, should you find yourself in a very miserable situation, in a sense of that you don't have a drive for life anymore, this cycle is going to be simultaneously a breakthrough and a wake-up call as well, like a test and a breakthrough, excuse me. And once this 116 is over, you're gonna pretty much have a different perspective and different vision upon that situation which made you feel despondent, either a breakup, job loss, you know, or for example, if it was a job loss, when you lost your job, you know, you are feeling miserable, you know, because you're jobless. But 2 weeks later, it's just you accept the situation like it is an opportunity for you to try something new and to be more successful elsewhere. It's all about a vision and or a perspective, and the positive and the right perspective, it is what you're going to obtain throughout these a couple of weeks. Okay, so that was the whole 12 star signs. Those who missed, who have missed their star signs, they can rewatch the video after I'm done with the stream, and I'm gonna end the stream after I have my last vibe here and a few swings of my coffee, and we can continue on for a 5 or 6 minutes our chat. It's not about standing out. It's not about standing out. It's more about recognizing, you know, when you are just lead on a leash, you know. So it's not about standing out. It's more about questioning here. Well, Mystical, then it seems that your brother is going to avoid severe, if not crisis, you know, a severe disappointment, at least according to these cards. Well, I cannot suggest anything because it's going to be considered advertising, and the video can be claimed in that case because I'm not authorized. I don't have any sponsors, and I can only say when I am sponsored. Otherwise, anybody can flag me for that I have mentioned something that I'm not supposed to mention. I'm sorry, Hypo. You're welcome, Anna. So yeah, it's gonna be quite exciting couple of weeks, it seems. You're welcome, Mystical. You're welcome. And yeah, guys, do not accept these. These are general readings, right? So I cannot cover the global population, for example, of Capricorn with just 3 cards, because these readings are to kind of like affect you in a different magnitude or in a different extent. For some of you, the reading could relate to something very meaningful. For others, it could be something completely negligible to a point where you not even notice that this reading takes place. No, Vandora, I am not a psychic. I don't have visions. I don't talk with ghosts. I don't read stars. I don't have or energies. I just interpret tarot cards. That's my thing. But I give it to my experience. So what happens is that when, for example, someone goes for a private reading, you know, and they ask their question, okay? So I turn out the cards, and it's like I have an impression, so immediately I see the answer, all right? But I give that to my practice and to my experience, and not to my mental abilities, let's say, or my psychic abilities, because I think that I have none, okay? Because I will tell you why. Because the first time I had my tarot cards, and I asked them a question and I turned out the tarot cards, nothing. It completely blank, nothing. I had no idea what they were showing. So it was not a natural gift. I developed it. If it is a gift, I think it's more like knowledge. Well, Hyper, this is the reason why I don't read for myself. As a matter of fact, I don't want to know, you know. So that's why you can't read for yourself, because you're not objective. And your expectations makes you misinterpret cards. Or not only cards, you know, that could be as well charts. I mean, astrology charts, crystal reading, rune reading, you name it. Any kind of reading can be manipulated. If you have to work for something, certainly isn't a gift. It's a payoff. Mystical, this is what I mean. If it is a gift, it comes with no efforts, because it's a gift. This is the literal meaning of the word gift, that you get something without giving anything in return. And God knows I gave a lot of time and devotion into it, so I don't consider it a gift. Hyper particular readers, no, I very seldom want to know something, and it is something that it does not relate to a very important situation, okay? It's just because I prefer not to know. This is who I am. I prefer to have my life somewhat exciting instead of knowing every step along the way. Salia, I do not underestimate Lenormand. That's the reason why I don't use them, because they work. I mean, I'm not saying that tarot doesn't work. Just on the contrary, it works. But with tarot, you do have control, right? With tarot, you basically can put a boundaries to what extent the cards can answer. While with the Lenormand you can't. And like I said, you know, I don't want guys, for example, to make, let's say, a Virgo reading, pull up the Lenormand cards, and to have, for example, the sight, the tree, and I don't know, the anchor. All right, well, that means serious sickness, illness. All right, I don't want to freak you out with that, and you can't control it, right? Or to have, for example, I don't know, let's say the fox and the home, and then I don't know the next card, maybe the coffin, which is that someone is gonna steal from you, all right? And that will freak you out. And not only you, I mean, everybody's gonna freak out. So that is the reason you don't have any control upon them, and that is the reason. And they are very personal. They are not performed for a general reading. To be honest, do you know what product Lenormand cards are? So the Lenormand cards are invented by Anne-Marie Lenormand, one of the Wicca Magisters. So the Lenormands were invented for the reason to predict an outcome of rituals, of witchcraft, right? So you do the witchcraft ritual, or before you do the witchcraft ritual, you make Lenormand reading to see what the outcome is going to be. So you can decide, should you perform the ritual or should you not perform the ritual. They're very personal, and they're not meant to go general, right? They need to be related with something, but what they're going to show, you have no control upon. Like me? What do you mean? You think that many readers are like me? Like how? All right. So I think that will be it then. Thank you guys all for watching. If oh, I'm one of a kind. Yeah, everybody, it's kind of unique. That's my vision as well. You know, because for example, let's take me and another tarot reader. I read one way, the other tarot reader reads other way. Does that mean that, for example, I suck and he's the best, or he sucks and I'm the best? No, we're just different, you know, and that's why YouTube is such a big platform, or the world is so wide. You to choose the one that suits you best, the one that is going to divulge you the information in the best way that you can get it, you know. And that's why I'm sorry, that's my air conditioning. So, and that's why we're making those videos, guys, to come forward and to show you how we developed our skills, or yeah, well, basically how we developed our skills, and you get to choose which one to be your reader based on, you know, the skills you see in them. That's the whole point. Good night, Sonia. Good night. I'm gonna close the stream soon as well, because I have a client in like 12 minutes. Thank you, Vondora. Yeah, well, we'll see how often I'm going to make those live streams. Sometimes I'm not gonna be able to, you know, it's just how it is. But I will try to be as consistent as I can. Thank you, Sally. Thank you. That is true, because after so many years of practice, you realize that it's best not to know because it's beyond your control. I will just going to tell you that, guys, and then I'm going to close the stream here. I also practice dream walking. That is something that I cannot offer for a service, however, all right? So what the dream walking is that you dream what is to happen, and you literally dream what is to happen, okay? Or I should say I have practiced it in the past. So yeah, I can dream what can happen to me, and even though I know what is to happen to me, I don't get to understand it, meaning that I don't know how it's going to happen. That's the thing, okay? That means that you can't prevent it, or I can't prevent it. And I recall or revoke, that is, a memory, which it's going to be a big wake-up call for me. I mean, I had a specific question, and the dream answered to that question straight away in the first night. Usually when you do dream walking, the dream doesn't come around for a few days, you know, maybe a couple of weeks as well. But eventually when it comes, the answer is pretty clear. And I had the dream on the very first night. And I said, yeah, nonsense, you know, it has to be a mistake. It cannot be that way. Oh, it happened exactly that way. It was just stunning. I couldn't believe it, right? And that was my very, very first try of doing dream walking. Then I remember I had that friend of mine who, he was very into women. I mean, I would say he was a player, okay? And he asked me, and he wanted me to prove him, you know, that I can do that. And so he asked me who is going to be my my next girlfriend. And of course, you cannot say names because you cannot dream names. This is not how it works. But I dreamt a girl with a specific rhymes, okay? And guess what? The next girlfriend, when they get to introduce each other, she was exactly with the same rhymes. It was stunning, all right? So, yeah, it's the dream walking is something that is no joke. I haven't practiced it for, let's say, I don't know, maybe a couple of years. Was the couple of years ago was the last time that I resorted to it, and the prediction haven't came true yet. But there is no indication that it's not going to come true either, all right? Also, you don't know the time frame. That is another thing. So, that being said, yeah, I will keep up the good work. Thank you, Zombie. I will try to, you know, I'll try to be myself, and you guys get to decide, is this a good work that I'm doing or not? But yeah, that being said, this is going to be it for tonight, guys, and I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will try to make these live streams as consistent as possible. Like I said, I cannot promise that they're going to be every time on every new or a full moon, because it's all about how I feel. Sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes I do feel like it. This time I didn't feel like it, all right, but I just felt that obligation that I need to produce some content so I don't disappoint you guys. So yeah, that being said, thank you all for watching. It was an honor to me, your forecaster for this lunar cycle, new moon into Cancer, which is a total solar eclipse, by the way, and we'll get to see each other next time. Till then, bye.